Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Danvat Pranam. So let's start our reading. Before we start, let's invoke the blessing of the Lord. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Bhayevucha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So dear devotees, we have been reading from book Trinadapi Sunichena by His Divine Grace Gaur Govinda Swami Maharaj, and we are at page number 24. Only One Desire is the title. Sanatan Goswami knew it was too dangerous to keep them, and thus asked his servant to give him the gold coins. The servant compiled and kept only one coin for himself. Then Sanatan Goswami gave the gold coins to the innkeeper, who expressed his amazement. "Oh, this night I was going to rob you and kill you. My friend told me you were carrying gold coins, but now you have given them to me." His heart completely changed. Then he tried to return the money. "No, no, no. You appear to be a gentleman. No one else could do as you have done." Sanatan Goswami insisted, "If you don't take these coins, then someone else will try to rob and kill us. It is better you take the coins." Therefore, he gave the money to the innkeeper who had planned to kill him. Now the enemy's heart was changed. This is sadhu. To one who's completely surrendered at the lotus feet of Krishna, Krishna gives pure intelligence, and intelligence how to pass this test and how to tolerate a dangerous situation. During that night, the innkeeper and astrologer helped Sanatan Goswami to cross the undulating area of the jungle. Such severe test, such suffering, one will have to face. Therefore, Taror Iva Sahishnuna. You have to tolerate many things. Krishna will test whether you have desire for material enjoyment, desire for liberation, or whether your only desire is bhavatad bhakti rahetuki, to get the lotus feet of Krishna and serve him. I do not desire enjoyment or happiness for myself. In spite of all suffering, all troubles, I have to serve the lotus feet of Krishna and give him pleasure. This will be tested. Those who are pure devotees, free from duplicity, are always engaged in nish, nishkapat bhajana, aketva bhajana, bhajana without duplicity. This is the symptom, lakshana of the devotee of the Lord. And actually, this is really true. When we come to Krishna conscious, initially we have material desire. And it does not mean that, coming to Krishna conscious, that mosquitoes stop biting and problems stop coming. No, it will come. Rather, bigger test come. but that power to overcome also given by Krishna. So this is really true. In the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna speaking to Uddhava states that the symptom of a pure devotee is that he does not want anything. न परमेष्ठं न महेन्द्रधिंशं न सार्वभौमं न रसाधिपत्यं न योगसिद्धिरपूर्णभावं वा मय्यर्पिता मे क्षितिमद्विन्यात्. O Uddhava, those who are completely surrendered unto me, my dear devotees, pure devotees, they have no other desire, no desire for material enjoyment, no desire for liberation. They only want to serve my lotus feet and give me pleasure. Na Parmeshthyam, they don't want the position of Brahma. They don't want the position of Indra. They don't want to be emperor of this world. Neither do they want to occupy the nether regions where Bali went. They don't want yoga siddhi, mystic perfection. They don't want liberation. They don't want anything. They only want to serve my lotus feet and give me pleasure. And when we give pleasure to Krishna, of course, Krishna reciprocate and we also get pleasure. What you really want will be tested. Do you want to serve the lotus feet of Krishna, Mahaprabhu, or do you want material enjoyment? Do you want a beautiful wife and family to enjoy, thinking of them as my wife, my son? Have you come to this path to obtain a nice wife? You can get a nice wife. Krishna knows the heart. Baba, you cannot cheat Krishna. He is there in your heart. Krishna will place before you a very severe test and you have to pass it. Unless you pass the test, how can you get Krishna? In Mukundamala, it is said, नाहं वन्दे तव चरणयो द्वन्द्वम् अद्वन्द्वं हेतो कुम्भीपाकं गुरुम् अपि हरे नरकं न पेन्तं रम्या रामा मृदुतनुलतनन्दनेन भिरन्तं भवे भवे हृदये भवने भवयेतं भवन्तम्. O Lord Hari, I do not want material enjoyment. I do not pray to you to deliver me from Naraka, hell. I am not offering prayers at your lotus feet for this purpose. I do not want to be embraced by soft arms of a beautiful woman like a heavenly angel. O Lord Hari, I am not offering prayers at your lotus feet for that purpose. I only want life, afterlife, bhavatad bhakti rahetu ki toi, to serve your lotus feet and give you pleasure. In spite of all suffering, all difficulties, all rebukes, all insults, all miseries, whatever may come, I have to tolerate it and serve your lotus feet. Na dhanam na janam na sundarim kavitam vajagadishu kame mama janmani janmeshware bhavatad bhaktir rahetu ki tvai. This is Mahaprabhu's prayer. This is the only desire. नास्त धर्मे न वासु निचये नैवे कंभो भगे यद भव्यम तद भवतु भगवान पूर्व कर्मानुरूपम एताद परस्थम मम बहु मतं जन्म जन्मैश्वरे अपि त्वद् पदम्भोरुहा युगगत निश्चले bhaktirasthu. O Lord, I do not want material opulence, nor do I want vasu, riches. Even in the subtlest corner of my heart, there is no desire for material enjoyment. I will never offer prayers asking you to please destroy my karmic reaction. No. According to my prarabdha karma, whatever suffering or happiness I deserve to get, let me have it. I have only prayer. Tvat padambha boruhu yuga gata nischala bhaktirastu. Let me have nischala bhakti, unalloyed devotion at your lotus feet. This is my only prayer. धर्म अर्थ काम मोक्षेषु निश्चय मम कदाचन त्वत्पद पंकजयस्तो जीवितं ध्येयं मम मोक्षश्लोक्य स्वरूपे परथये न धरधरा इच्छामि हि महाभोगा karunyam त्वसुरता. O Lord, I do not have desire for dharma, artha, kama, or moksha. There is no need at all. I do not even want the four types of mukti: sarupya, shalokya, shrishti, samipya. Only think of me as speck of dust at your lotus feet. Just give me a tiny place there. I have no other desire. That means the Lord will test you to see what is inside your heart. Bhava bandha chade tasai sprayami na muktaye. Bhavan prabhur aham dasa iti yatra vilupete. These are the words of Hanumanji. Hanuman is the ideal servant, Dasya Bhakta. Hanuman said, O Lord, you can deliver anyone from material bondage, but I am not asking for that. You are my eternal master. I am your eternal servant. I have to maintain this perfect, eternal, loving relationship with you as master and servant. I have no other desire than to become your servant life after life and serve your lotus feet with love and give you pleasure and enjoyment. I am not asking anything for myself. Sandhya Vandham Bhadram Astu Bhavato Bho Sna Na Tubhyam Namo Bho Deva Pitrascha Tarpana Vidhau Naham Shama Shamatam Yatra Kwapi Nisdaya Yadava Kuluttamasya Kamsadushaha Smram Sam Agham Harami Tad Alam Manne Kim Annename. Rupa Goswami has quoted this verse from Padyavali. That devotee who has developed unalloyed devotion at the lotus feet of Krishna has given up all krityas, daily activities such as chanting the Gayatri Mantra in the three sandhyas, morning, noon, and evening. He has given it up and says, O Gayatri Japa, I pay my obeisances to you. Let all glories to you be to you. He never goes to any holy place to take bath. He says, O all holy places, I pay my obeisances to you. Let all glory be to you, but I don't want to go there. He also says, O demigods, O my forefathers, I am unable to chant your names and offer any worship to you. Please excuse me. Wherever I may be, in hell or in heaven, in a deserted place, in a forest, or in a very dangerous place. Wherever I may be, I want to constantly think of the lotus feet of that Krishna, the killer of Kamsa, again and again and again. There is nothing else I want. I consider that this is enough for me. What is the necessity of any activity, any other activity? Snanam malanam abhutkriya na cha kriya sandhya cha vandhya bhavat vedo khedam avapa shastra patali samitantaha sputaha धर्मो मर्मो हतोपि अयि अधर्म निश्चया प्रयाक्ष्यम प्राप्तवान चित्तम कुंभति यद्वेन्द्र चरणोभोजे ममहार निशम. I have only desire to take a shelter at the lotus feet of Krishna, who is the crest jewel of the Yadu dynasty. I do not want anything else. Therefore, I give up bathing 3 times a day, Trisnanam. I give up all Vedic sacrifices. I give up offerings prayer in the morning, noon, and evening, and studying Vedas. All my Vedic literature are now stored away under lock and key. I do not want any of these. I only want to hover constantly like a bumblebee around the lotus feet of Krishna, humming Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So we'll stop here. Tomorrow we'll start from page number 28, Ekantika Bhakti. So these are very nice verses. Actually, three verses has been quoted from Mukundamala, which is very good. I highly recommend if some devotee get a chance to hear and read Mukundamala. It's so good actually. That how a king which has all the facility and how he has developed the pure love for Krishna. So now next we will be reading Prashila Gaur Govinda Swami ki Jai. So now next Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita and page number 119. And last two lines. So 119 page number at Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita. So now last two lines. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Prabhupada saw book distribution not only as the best method of preaching, but also as a fair means of income. In India, the brahmacharis in the traditional Gurukula system would beg from door to door, but in the West, such a practice would not be respected. But every gentleman will give a quarter for back to Godhead, Prabhupada had said. Even as Prabhupada turned more towards India and his projects there, he continued to encourage his disciple, especially in the West, to distribute his books. Please increase your program of distribution to the public as well as trying to place your books and magazine in the library. I am simply interested in the book distribution. So with the library, it reminds me that wherever you stay, every community, they have small, what they call, right, the stand-up library where a small box they place in front of the park where anybody can place any book, right? It's free. So I highly encourage that if you have extra copies of Bhagavad Gita, you can keep in those small library, right? Which is there. Sometimes people keep in front of their homes, sometime in front of the park. So place it. My observation is whenever we put some Bhagavad Gitas there, somebody definitely take it. Next time we check, It's not there, so somebody takes it. So, or you can ask your children to place it. So, of course, that's also a form of a distribution. So, next to the devotees in New York, he had written in 1971. I'm especially pleased to hear that your distribution of books and magazines has increased. Go on in this way, increasing more and more. Each time someone reads some solid information about Krishna, his life becomes changed in some way. These literatures are solid ground upon which our preaching stands. So I want that they should be available to everyone, as many as possible. So please strive for this. To the devotees in Australia, he wrote, the best news is that you are increasing nicely the distribution of my books and literature. This is the best activity to distribute solid information about Krishna. Our preaching stands solid on these books. No other movement has such vast background of or authority. Background of authority. So again, it reminds me whenever you go for somebody's birthday, somebody's wedding, if you have extra copy of some small books of Srila Prabhupada or Krishna book. If children's birthday, you can put Krishna book, 90 stories, and children like stories. You can put it into the gift bag. Or somebody's wedding anniversary, you can place Bhagavad Gita. So that's also another. So in one way, wherever you go, if there is opportunity, if you are giving any gift along with toys and other thing, you can just place one book of Srila Prabhupada. That's a great service. You never know if who will get benefited uh, from that family. If not the same people whom you are giving, but maybe somebody will definitely read. And if they read, their spiritual bank balance started, or they can continue. And to the devotees of Africa, Prabhupada wrote, distribution of books and magazines is our most important activity. Without books, our preaching has no solid basis. Especially the Africans want our books. That's why Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati said, books are the basis. Srila Prabhupada said that if there were ample books, then everything else in the ISKCON would succeed. Practically, our society is built on books. One book is not very impressive. Still, a blind uncle is better than no uncle at all. So, it is very nice that one book has appeared and that BTG is appearing at least several issues in other language. But now try to produce at least 4 or 5 new books per year in several languages, plus regularly BTG every month. Apply yourself fully to this very great responsibility of producing numerous books in foreign languages. And it is very important to read Srila Prabhupada books. Yesterday in the temple, I was thinking, I was reminding myself that, apart from other readings, at least, Bhagavad Gita is something every day we should read, at least one verse every day, because it will keep our spiritual spark, you know. And I observed that if let's say someday or some days you don't read any book, although we still chant, but that fire in in our mind, right? Let's try to extinguish, because those words from Krishna and Srila Prabhupada, right? It will keep that fire of spiritual life. Next, back in 1968, when 10,000 copies of teachings of Lord Chaitanya had arrived at the temple in New York, Brahmananda Swami had wondered how they would ever distribute so many hardbound books on the lofty philosophy of Lord Chaitanya. But in 1970, with the publication of another book, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, some of the devotees in San Francisco had begun to go door to door, person to person, and sell the books. And not only one or two books, but 20, 30, even 40 a day. The enthusiasm had spread as devotees in other temples had begun to sell increasing numbers of Srila Prabhupada books. Next, the young man had begun traveling in the vans, going out all day after day to discover the greatest ecstasy of distributing Prabhupada's books. Then a competition had started. Keshava boasts that the devotees in San Francisco were the best, had drawn challenges from the devotees in Los Angeles, New York, Denver, and Dallas. A Sankirtan fever had begun, and at the center was Srila Prabhupada, assuring that unquestionably book distribution had the topmost priority of all his missionary activities. Prabhupada has also stressed that the devotees should regularly study his books. The books were not only for the public, the devotees must read them and know them, or else how could they preach? In Los Angeles temple room, Prabhupada would have devotees take part in pronouncing and chanting responsive, responsively the daily Sanskrit verses from Srimad Bhagavatam. Then individual devotees would take turns chanting the verse alone, while other devotees would again respond collectively. Hridayananda Goswami. When Prabhupada came to Los Angeles in 1972, he started the Bhagavatam class, where everyone chanted the Sanskrit. One effect was that devotees became more grave, a little more civilized. Just at that time, things were a little wild in America. Sankirtana parties were doing so many wild things, staying out all hours of night, sleeping anywhere, eating anything. Previously, temple had been a little sedate and actually even a little dry because devotees were not giving out many books. And then, when Sankirtana got a little heavy, it was almost like a rodeo consciousness. This wild Sankirtana, like bronco busting. But Prabhupada came and introduced the chanting of Sanskrit mantras word for word, and devotees submitted to a more grave and formal program. On the 1st June, Srila Prabhupada left Los Angeles for Mexico City. He said he would return in a few weeks. Srila Prabhupada kept traveling. We take one flight and then after that coming back, we need rest for one day. And Srila Prabhupada, from one location to another, he kept traveling for hours and hours. So amazing. Prabhupada conducted an intensive 3-day lecture campaign in Mexico City, speaking at National University of Mexico, the Masonic Lodge, and Theosophical Society, and appearing on a television show with some 30 million viewers. He also held initiation at the temple on 2 consecutive days. Mexico was similar to India, he said, with pious people and a tropical climate. Even when he walked early in the morning in Chapultepec Park, many people followed him back to temple. They recognized him as a saint and wanted his benediction. Chit Sukhananda. On Sunday afternoon, there were more than 500 people in the temple room. After the lecture, Srila Prabhupada went back to his room alone, and there was a big kirtan with 5 to 600 people chanting, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. They became very, very ecstatic. and it seemed like the temple walls were going to come down. I was in Srila Prabhupada's room and he said, "What is this Kirtana? They are making so much noise." I said, "They are chanting your name." And I went down to see what was going on, and all the people were waiting to come into Prabhupada's room. It was like they wanted to charge up to Prabhupada's room to be able to see him. They kept yelling his name, "Prabhupada, Prabhupada." So I came up to Srila Prabhupada. "Prabhupada, they want to see you." And Srila Prabhupada said, "Well, let them come." So I immediately arranged that people could come in. He had two doors in his room, and they were coming in through one door on the left side and leaving through the door on right. One by one in line, they just filtered through like a great parade, coming and offering different words to Srila Prabhupada. Most of the people were saying in Spanish, "Your divine grace, your holiness, please bless me. Give me your benediction." Everyone was praying for his benediction. And as the people would come in, they would bow down. Everyone was extremely submissive, and there were many people with tears in their eyes to see the great saint, Srila Prabhupada. And they said to Srila Prabhupada, "Please give me your blessing." Prabhupada asked me, "What are they saying?" And I said, "Give me one blessing, one benediction." So he had his hand in his bead bag, and with his fingers outside his bead bag, he would point to them and say, "Hare Krishna." And they were all very happy. Such a nice 500 to 600 people came to see Srila Prabhupada. Actually, when Prabhupada was walking, Krishna was walking with him. He was so empowered, pure devotee of Krishna. Prabhupada also traveled to Kyunavakcha, where he lectured out of doors at the city plaza before a crowd of thousands. The audience sat patiently and heard his words translated into Spanish. Chit Sukhnanda. Just then we had turned out our first book, La Conciencia de Krishna el Sistema Mas Elevado de Yoga, in bracket, Krishna consciousness, the topmost yoga system. And Srila Prabhupada, during his lecture at the plaza at Kurunavacha, saw Hayaya Das arrive with newly printed copies of this red book, La Conciencia de Krishna, el Sistema Más Elevado de Yoga, which is same Krishna conscious, the topmost yoga system. Srila Prabhupada looked at him and was very happy to see his book printed. He stopped his lecture and said, "Now you can all take one of these books and read them." And the people actually came to Srila Prabhupada to get the books. We only brought about 50 copies, but all 50 copies Srila Prabhupada sold personally. The people took the liberty to ask Srila Prabhupada for an autograph book, and he autographed almost all 50 book copies. After the plaza lecture, there was a hotel lecture, and then Srila Prabhupada was supposed to go to a devotee's home in Kurgnavacha to take prasadam and rest. But Srila Prabhupada decided he wanted to return to the temple in Mexico City. He got back around 8 p.m. So from 8 in the morning until 8 that night, he had not taken a bite of food. What austerity! Not taking food and whole day preaching. Only a little water. We offered him fruits and things, but he did not want anything. When he returned to his room, his eyes were shining and his smile was broad, and he said, This is the way to be happy. Work all the day for Krishna. All he wanted was a cup of hot milk with puris and a cup of sugar. He pressed the puris into the sugar and he drank the milk with great joy and happiness. He said, "This is our life to serve Krishna. Work all day for Krishna and take little prasadam at night." So, this is very true, dear devotees. When we go for book distribution, the more we get distribute our books or any preaching program, the more you become happy. This is really true. Or the more we chant, if let's say someday we have extra time and we do extra chanting, of course it takes austerity. Initially, mind will say, no, no, we already finished our 16 round. But if we continue extra rounds or some extra reading, right, it is so good, so blissful. Or during work, right, if you get breaks, and in the break you decided, okay, let me chant one extra round or read one verse of Bhagavad Gita. It is so blissful. As Srila Prabhupada has mentioned, this is so true. When the whole day we work for Krishna, because that is the food for soul. And so when soul is happy, your body will automatically feel happy. So in the interest of time, we'll stop here. And I know I forgot to play the song, so I will play the song now. And we are stopping at page number 124 at the bottom on returning to Los Angeles. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much, all the devotees, for listening. And please forgive me if I pronounce something wrong or not able to read properly. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनंत कोटि वैष्णव